Hello, everyone. So, this is just a short review session on pharmacokinetics. And this will probably be my first and last review session for this school year. Kasi yung mga subjects naman natin ngayong second year require majority memory work tulad ng micro, clean path, med, yung mga drugs here in pharmacology. After pharmacokinetics, dynamics na yan. Tapos, puro drugs na, puro mechanism of action, contraindication, side effects, etc. All memory work. Probably patho requires some explanation ng mechanism ng mga diseases. But I think Robbins is more than enough. Robbins is a very good and enjoyable lead. So, the processes leading to the disease are all explicated in a logical manner naman sa Robbins. But this particular topic in pharmacology, pharmacokinetics, is notorious for being one of the most non-intuitive topics in all of medicine. Nothing is really intuitive in pharmacokinetics, unless you have a background, of course. The formulas, maraming mga formulas, and some of them may mga overlap pa. And at first, they may seem nonsensical or hindi logical yung way ng pag-arrange ng mga variables. And really, it's so easy to get lost in all the calculations here, ano yung mga units and parameters that you need to take into account. So we hope na in this session, we're going to be able to at least ease up this difficulty kahit konti through concrete examples and some visuals. And really, this is very, very difficult. So I hope we can simplify it. Okay? So this is our roadmap. So we have concepts of ADME, yung ating absorption, distribution, metabolism, elimination, and some loading and maintenance doses. We have some calculations, okay? So of various types. And we have QCVR, okay? And then we start with concepts in which pharmacokinetics is nothing but ADME or absorption, distribution, metabolism, and elimination. Lalo na kapag oral yung drug natin, it needs to be absorbed. Okay? So if ito yung GI tract natin, it needs to be absorbed into the bloodstream for it to have an effect to be distributed. Pero kung IV na, diretso mo nang nilagay sa ating bloodstream, then it does not need to be absorbed anymore. Diretso na siyang mali-distribute sa ating tissues, sa ating target tissues. Okay, so that's distribution. And then, of course, pag tapos na yung mechanism of action niya, you can now eliminate that drug. Okay, you now excrete it, but before that, you need to make it hydrophilic or polar para hindi siya bumalik ng plasma membrane, hindi siya makadaan ng plasma membrane, para maiwan siya sa urine, okay, in the kidney. So, the organ that performs metabolism to make it more hydrophilic is the liver, and then pag hydrophilic na siya, it will be eliminated in your kidney, okay, in the urine. Now, the parameter we use to calculate absorption, okay, especially for oral drugs, is bioavailability. How much of the drug is actually available to be used by the body? And kung IV yan, you would expect 100% bioavailability kasi diniretso mo siya sa ating vascular system. It will be distributed unchanged to the target organs. Pero we need to calculate bioavailability, especially for oral drugs, kasi may tinatawag tayong first pass metabolism, which is from the gut, okay, to the portal circulation. Okay? Pero hindi siya didiretso ng systemic circulation. It will first go to the liver where it will be metabolized. The liver will extract some of the drug before it actually reaches the systemic. So ito yung portal circulation. This is the systemic circulation. And so, may tatanggalin yung liver dun sa drug na kinain, yung sa ininom natin, orally. Okay? And that's by availability. The ratio of the area under the curve orally versus the area under the curve IV. Ano ba tong area under the curve IV? That's 100%. 100% maximum ang bioavailability natin kasi diniretso mo siya sa bloodstream. So we take that ratio, and as you can see from this diagram in which the x-axis is time, and so y-axis is the plasma concentration. Ang area under the curve or yung curve ng ating oral is may paakyat at may pababa. Yung paakyat, that's the absorption phase from the gut to the circulation, and then yung pababa, that's the distribution phase. Pero bakit yung drug-administered IV natin, nag-start siya diretso doon sa taas, mula sa taas? Kasi wala na absorption phase, diretso mo na siyang i-distribute. Distribution na to diretso. Kasi nasa bloodstream na siya. Okay, so kaya mataas na diretso yung kanyang plasma concentration. Kasi didiretso mo nga siya. So now, we compare yung area under the curve ng oral, maliit lang siya kasi maliit lang yung bioavailability niya kasi in-extract ng liver eh. Versus yung area under the curve ng IV na sobrang laki kasi full force siya na pupunta sa ating mga organs. Okay? And we can also use this formula right here, bioavailability of oral, okay, as small f is absorbed fraction. Ano to absorbed fraction? It's just telling us how much nung drug, kunwari ito yung drug na nasa GI tract, is actually going to the portal circulation. And syempre, may mga factors that will affect that absorption. Pwedeng lipid soluble or water soluble, ionized, unionized, protonated, deprotonated yung ating drug. So there are some factors as well. Pero more importantly is that extraction ratio. Ano yung extraction ratio? So, from the name itself, ilan yung in-extract ng liver. Okay? So, the higher the extraction ratio, mas maraming tinanggal yung liver, the lower the bioavailability. And the lower the extraction ratio, mas konti yung tinanggal ng liver, mas malaki yung darating sa systemic circulation to be made available. Okay? And the formula for that is very intuitive. Hepatic clearance versus or over hepatic blood flow. Whenever something is in the numerator, it's more often than not directly proportional to the variable on the left. And if it's something in the denominator, it's inversely proportional to the variable on the left. Ibig sabihin yan, kung ang clearance ko ay mataas, syempre, kinlear mo, mataas yung extraction. And ang hepatic blood flow mo, kung mataas naman, so inversely proportional denominator, mababa yung extraction ratio. Why? Kung mataas yung hepatic blood flow mo, so mataas yung blood flow mo, mabilis yung blood flow mo, the liver will not have time to extract everything from the blood. So, bababa siya, ang extraction ratio. Okay, so the more hepatic blood flow, the less the extraction ratio. If we can concretize that by saying that ang hepatic clearance ko, let's say, is 1.2 liters per hour. So that's the amount of blood that I cleared of the drug. Okay? Tinanggalan ko yung blood na yun, yung 1.2 liters na yun ng drug, over yung total na dumaan. Yung total na dumaan doon sa liver, which is, let's say, 1.5 liters per hour. So, meron na akong 1.2 liters na tinanggalan out of dun sa 1.5 liters, ang extraction ratio is 0.8. So, 1.2 over 1.5 is 0.8. 80% nung drug, okay, 80% ng drug yung tinanggal ng liver. Kasi 20% na lang natira sa atin. And that 20% is what will be made available sa ating distribution to our target tissues. Okay? That's bioavailability. For distribution, okay, we calculate that via the volume of distribution in liters ang unit niya. And ang numerator niya is the amount of drug in the body. Siyempre, marami kang drug, mas maraming volume or mas maraming liters kang madidistributan yung drug na yun over the concentration in the blood. Ano yung sabihin yan? Well, it's in the denominator, so it's inversely proportional, which means the higher the concentration in the blood, the lower the volume of distribution. Why? Kasi, if mataas yung concentration mo sa blood, edi hindi mo siya didistribute. Diba? So, mababa yung volume of distribution mo. Kung mababa naman yung concentration mo in the blood, ibig sabihin, na-distribute mo siya ng maayos, your volume of distribution is high. Okay? So, that's inversely proportional. So, we see some three examples here. We have example 1, in which we have 20 units of the drug. Okay? And then, ang concentration niya sa blood is 2 units. So, dalawa lang tira. So, saan napunta yung 18? Napunta na sa target organ. So, ang volume distribution natin is amount of drug in the body, which is 20, over the concentration in the vascular compartment or in the blood na 2 lang. So, ang volume distribution natin is 10 liters. So, it was distributed, yung drug na yun was distributed 10 liters throughout the body. Okay? So, maliit lang yung amount sa plasma natin, 2 liters lang. Okay? Kasi dinistribute mo siya ng maayos sa mga target organs, yung 10 liters mo siyang na-distribute. In comparison to case number 2, in which you have the squiggly line here, which is, I think, a protein. Tapos, highly protein bound yung drug na yon. If the drug is highly protein bound, hindi siya makakapag-distribute papunta sa tissue. So, it will remain in the vascular compartment. And if it remains in the vascular compartment, okay, nasa vascular compartment siya, hindi mo siya ma-distribute, you have low volume of distribution. Kaya, the greater the concentration in the vascular compartment, okay, denominator yan. So, inversely, the lower will be my volume of distribution. Tingnan nyo, konti lang na-distribute kasi naiwan siya sa blood. Okay? Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, 1.1 liters lang in comparison to 10 liters. Kasi iniwan mo siya sa bloodstream. And lastly, to illustrate this further, baliktad naman. Dito naman, tissue binding naman. Mas gusto nung drug mag-bind dun sa tissues natin. Okay? So, konti lang tuloy natira dun sa ating bloodstream. Kaya din nyo, 100 liters ang ating volume of distribution. It was distributed well because the drug has a lot of affinity for the tissues. Okay? Now, so syempre, nagawa na ng drug yung trabaho niya. It needs to be excreted, but first you need to make it hydrophilic. Okay? or water soluble. So you do the two phases of metabolism. Phase one, which are your CYP450 enzymes causing your oxidation, reduction, hydrolysis. And then you have your phase two or conjugation reactions like glucuronidation, glutathionellations, acetylation, methylation, etc. Sulfation. So may excrete na siya through the kidney. Okay? And ang excretion natin is, ang parameter niyan is clearance. Okay? Okay. Magkaiba, okay, this is very important. Magkaiba yung sinasabi nating rate of elimination or how much of the drug is actually being removed. Okay? How much of the drug is being removed from the clearance itself. Magkaiba yun, ha? Magkaiba terms ang clearance and elimination. Ulitin ko, ang elimination, drug, tinatanggal natin. Clearance pertains to the blood. Blood, okay? Ilang liters ng blood yung tinanggalan ko ng drug. Okay? Sige. Kaya ang unit niya, kung mapapansin nyo, is milliliters. Hindi milligram, ha? Milliliter per minute or liter per hour. How many liters ang natanggalan ko ng dugo kada oras? Ay, how many liters ng dugo ang natanggalan ko ng drug kada oras? Yun ibig sabihin ng clearance. Okay? And intuitive din yung ang formula niya. Nasa numerator, ang rate of elimination kasi directly proportional. The greater the rate of elimination, mas marami kang tinanggal na drug from the blood, mas mataas din yung clearance mo. Pero inversely proportional naman sa denominator ang ating plasma concentration kasi kung mataas plasma concentration mo, hindi mo natanggal yung drug, mababa clearance. Okay? And then we have two types of uh, elimination. We have zero order elimination and first order elimination. The zero order elimination, constant amount ang nababawas every hour. So, 2.5 hours nabawas, 2.5 hours next hour, again, next hour, 2.5 units ulit. Okay? So, for first order elimination naman, ang constant dito is the half-life. But the amount na nababawas every hour is not constant. Okay? Ulitin ko. Sa zero order elimination, constant amount ang nababawas. Sa first order elimination, half-life ang constant. And you know what half-life is, di ba? The time it takes for half of the drug to remain to be excreted from the body. Okay? And kung mapapansin nyo, from 5 units sa unang oras ko, okay? 2.5 units per hour na lang sa next hour ko. So that's minus 2.5. Pero pagdating ko ng next hour ko, 1.25. So that's minus 1.25. So the amount na nababawas sa akin, okay, is not constant. Pero constant na lagi siya kumakalahati. Constant yung half-life niya. So every hour, kakalahati yan. Hindi nga lang constant yung amount na nababawas sa akin. Let's say I have 100 milligrams of my drug. Okay? Or wait. Ayan, 100 milligrams of my drug. And then after one half-life, so T1 half, naging 50 milligrams na lang yan. And then after another half-life, okay, naging 25 milligrams na lang yan. So constant yung half-life ko, let's say 4 hours. So every 4 hours, kakalahati yung amount of my drug. Pero yung amount na nabawas is not constant. This is minus 50. This is minus 25. Okay? Sige. Oh, as I said, half-life is the time it takes for the drug to reduce by 50%, for 50% to be excreted. And ang parameters natin is you have here the natural logarithm of 2. Kasi kalahati, we don't need to know that as much. Memorize na lang, constant yan, 0.7. Okay, 0.7. And the numerator, volume of distribution. Siyempre, kung mataas yung volume of distribution mo, mas na-distribute mo siya sa tissue, then hindi pa niya oras ma-eliminate. Kaya, magiging mataas ang kanyang half-life. Okay? Kasi distribute nasa tissue pa eh. So hindi pa niya oras ma-eliminate. So mataas pa yung half-life niya. Matagal siya bago ma-eliminate. Pero nasa denominator ang clearance kasi the more you clear the blood of the drug, the less the half-life will be. Mas konti na lang yung oras ng buhay ng drug kasi mataas yung clearance mo. So inversely proportional. Okay? Sige. Steady state concentration just tells us, okay, the amount, okay, in which the rate na pinapasok natin, the rate of our dosage, is equal to the rate na palabas. Okay? Na na-eliminate. Okay? Yung rate na pinapasok natin or our dosing rate, okay, is equal to the rate of elimination. Yun yung concentration. So, ibig sabihin yan, Ibig sabihin, that's in milligrams per liter. So let's say, meron akong 100 milligrams per liter. And then nag-supply ako ng 100 milligrams per liter ulit. Okay. That will become 200 milligrams per liter. After half-life, kakalahati yan. So magiging 100 milligrams per liter. Then, nag-supply ulit ako ng 100 milligrams. Okay? Per liter. So that will, sorry, so plus 100, so magiging 200 milligram per liter na siya. After another half-life, magiging 100 na lang yan. So, what can you notice? Yung pinapasok ko ng 100 milligram per liter, nilalabas lang din ng aking kidney na 100 milligram per liter din. So, yung rate na pinapasok ko, dose in, is equal to the dose out. Okay? So, ito, plus 100, pero dahil sa half-life, kinalahati niya, minus 100, rate in is equal to the rate out. And that 100 milligram per liter is what we call the steady state concentration. Okay? And sabi dyan, it's attained after approximately 4 half-lives. Okay? So how can we illustrate that? Siguro, let's concretize that. Let's say I start from 100, and then after 1 half-life, naging 50. Nag-add ako ng 100, so naging 150. Kalahati yan, magiging 75. And then magiging 175. And then magiging 87.5. And then magiging 187.5, and then etc. So from 150, this is 1 half-life. Okay? From 50 to 150, that's my next dose, so plus 100. Okay? And then, 150 after another half-life, maging 75, then plus 100 ulit, then another half-life, then plus 100 ulit. Sabi, after 1, 2, 3, and next na half-life ulit, after 4 half-lives daw, okay, after 4 na ganyan, makakarating na tayo doon sa steady state concentration tulad nung example ko kanina, dito. So, 100, naging 200, naging 100, naging 200, naging 100, 200. Pabalik-balik na lang siya. Kaya siya, tinan nyo. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Magko-constant yan eventually. You will reach the steady state concentration. And sabi dito, it's usually after approximately 4 half-lives. Okay? And sabi dito, the time to steady state is independent of dosage. The time to steady state is only dependent on the half-life. Ibig sabihin, give you an example. Kung ang half-life ng drug ko is 4 hours, I will reach steady state regardless of my dosage in 16 hours. Kasi 4 half-life. So 4 times 4, 16 hours. Okay? Time to steady state yun ha, independent of dosage. Ang dosage will tell you the steady state concentration. Okay? Siyempre, the greater your dose, okay? The greater your dose, so kung ito yung original nating steady state concentration, kung tinasan mo yung dose mo, the greater will also be the steady state concentration. Kung ito yung steady state concentration number 2, ito yung number 1, mas mataas yung dose na binigay ko, mas mataas yung naging steady state concentration. But the time for me to reach steady state is independent of that. It's only dependent, okay, yung time to CSS is only dependent on the half-life. Nothing else. Okay? Ang steady state concentration ko, yan yung concentration mismo, dyan nagde-depend yung, or naapektuhan yan ng ating dosage. Ayan? Okay? So, this one and this one ay magkaiba. Okay. So, this is our dosing rate. So, how many milligrams do you give per hour? Yan lang yan, dosing rate. Kasi nga rate siya of, ayan, dose per time. Okay, how much of the dose? Siyempre, kung oral yan, may computing by availability over time. Okay? But we can also compute that via very nice formula here. Dosing rate, okay, in steady state is equal to clearance times CSS. Why? Why is this a good formula? Kasi if we understand this, anong meaning nito? Dosing rate is rate in and clearance, tinanggal mo, times yung tinanggal mo, yung drug from the plasma sa steady state concentration niya. This is the rate out. Okay? Rate in is equal to rate out, which is the definition of steady state concentration. Okay? So, dosing rate in steady state, which is the rate in, is equal to the rate out, which is the clearance, tinanggalan mo kinlear mo yung plasma sa kanyang steady state concentration. Okay? Now, maintenance dose is just how much do we need, dose that we need to supply to maintain the steady state concentration. Okay? So, every interval, syempre, we need to give every 8 hours, every 12 hours, every 24 hours. So, yan yung dosing interval. So, look here, dosing interval. And then, yung dosing rate na kailangan nating ibigay, okay, to maintain this steady state concentration. So, ang formula niyan is CL times TC. TC is just CSS, ha? Steady state concentration. And we multiply that by the clearance. And as we know, clearance times steady state concentration is just dosing rate. And we multiply that by the dosing interval. Kung every 4 hours ba yan, every 8 hours, every 12 hours. Okay? And of course, divide by the bioavailability. And then we have naman yung tinatawag nating loading dose. Why do we need a loading dose? Kung mapapansin nyo, kung wala tayong loading dose, we take 4 or 5 half-lives to reach steady state. Pero paano kung yung half-life ng drug natin, 1 day? Let's say, theoretically, meron tayong drug na 1 day, yung kanyang half-life. So it will take you 4 days to reach steady state concentration. Baka lumala na yung sakit ng pasyente. So what we do is we give a large dose. I-load na natin kaagad. Okay, i-load mo na. Lagyan natin na kaagad ng malaking dose sa simula pa lang para mataas na kaagad yung drug concentration and we can easily reach steady state concentration. So, after nung loading dose natin, puro maintenance dose na lang ibibigay natin. Yan ang ibig sabihin ng loading dose. Formula niyan is the loading dose is dependent on the volume of distribution times the steady state concentration. And of course, over bioavailability. So, of course, the higher the steady state concentration na target natin, syempre, kailangan malaking dose din. And the greater the volume of distribution, okay, the greater din yung loading dose. Kung mas marami yung volume in the body kung saan mo gustong distribute yung drug na yun, syempre, greater din dapat yung dose na ibibigay mo kung gusto mo siyang ma-distribute ng widespread. Okay? Sige. So, here's the summary of our pharmacokinetic parameters. And take note, okay, of 3 things. Yung buong pangalan, let's say bioavailability, okay? Yung 1 letter or 2 letter abbreviation niya, let's say F. And number 3, yung unit niya. Okay, liters, milligram per liter. Kasi pwedeng ilagay yan sa QC VR, sa multiple choice na naka-abbreviate. And you have to know what it means and ano yung unit niya. So ito siya. Capital F is bioavailability. As we know, that's the area under the curve oral over area under the curve IV. F is the extent of absorption from the GI tract to the bloodstream. ER is the extraction ratio, kung ilan yung tinanggal ng drug, ng liver dun sa drug na ininom natin. FU, by the way, is free and bound drug. So, hindi siya bound to albumin in the plasma, so mas madidistribute siya. VD is the volume of distribution, unit in liters. Kaya a volume is a liter. Volume is volume of distribution in liters. Either AB, okay, amount in the body, or X, that's the amount of drug in the body, or that's the dose, that's in milligrams. Okay? C subscript P, that's the plasma drug concentration. So concentration in the plasma, that's in milligrams per liter. We have the clearance, ml per minute, or liters per hour. So how much volume ang tinanggalan natin ng drug per hour? T1/2, that's half-life in hours. Capital T is dosage interval. Every 4 hours mo mabibigay, every 8 hours mo mabibigay, etc. Ang steady state concentration or target concentration, dalawa ang abbreviation, CSS and TC, parehas lang yan, huwag malilito. That's in milligram per liter as well kasi concentration yan, milligram per liter. So mass over volume. And then we have MD or D subscript M, that's maintenance dose. Syempre dosage yan, so it's in milligram of the drug. And loading dose, LD, that's in milligrams as well. Okay? So we now move on to some example calculations. Here's our first question. Na apply na natin yung mga formulas na inaral natin. So, sabi dito, drug X has the following pharmacokinetic data. We have the target concentration or the steady state concentration at 400 milligram per ml. We have the clearance, 200 ml per hour. Volume distribution is 2 liters. First thing you have to notice here, dapat pantay-pantay lahat ng units natin. May nakita kang ml dito, may nakita kang ml dito. Convert natin to 2 liters. Para lahat sila ml, gawin natin siyang 2,000 ml. Diba? 1 liter is 1,000 ml. Okay, so 2 liters is 2,000 ml. Ang tanong, if you are to start IV infusion to achieve CSS, what would be the dosing rate? Okay, what would be the dosing rate to achieve steady state concentration? And we know that to reach steady state concentration, the rate in must equal the rate out. Kaya nga steady state concentration. And we know that the rate in is just the dosing rate. So TR na lang ha, dosing rate is equal to the rate out. Tinanggal natin. That's clearance times, kinlear natin yung ating steady state concentration. Okay? So, given ba itong dalawang to? Yes. We have clearance here. We have the CSS. That would be clearance natin is 200 ml. Lagi nyo nalagay units ha, para alam nyo kung ano yung mga cancel na units. 200 ml per hour, okay? Times steady state concentration of 400 milligram per ml. And ano mga cancel na units? ml cancels. 200 times 400, that's 80,000. And milligram, denominator, yung R, milligram per hour. Tama ba? Tugma ba siya sa unit ng dosing rate? Is dosing rate milligram per hour? Yes. Okay, so that's 80,000 milligram per hour. So kada oras, 80,000 dapat, 80,000 milligrams dapat nang isupply natin. Right. So, one more thing that can help you with pharmacokinetic calculation. Let's say nakalimutan mo yung formula. Make use of the units. Nakalimutan mo yung formula. Given naman lagi, I think, ang units. Okay? Tapos, tignan mo in such a way na paano mo i-arrange yung mga given units na maka-cancel yung ayaw mo, matitira yung gusto mo. What do I mean? What do I mean? Ang dosing rate, let's say alam mo, dosing rate, alam mong unit niyan, milligram per hour. That's why I said, very important to know the units. Let's say alam mo siya, milligram per hour siya. Tapos meron kang milligram per ml, tapos may ml per hour ka. Milligram per ml, tapos ml per hour. How can you manipulate these two units in such a way na matitira yung milligram per hour? Sa milligram per hour, walang ml. Walang ml. So, dapat, makancel mo yung ml. Paano mo makakancel yung ml? Dapat yung isang ml na sa numerator, yung isang ml na sa denominator. So, in this particular case, pag multiply mo kasi yan, magka-cancel to kasi numerator mo ml, nasa denominator mo yung kabilang ml. So, maka-cancel. Ang matitira mo na lang yung gusto mo, which is yung mg tsaka yung r. So, yeah, that's a tip I can give you pag uh, mahirap i-memorize yung formulas. Make use of the units given, okay? And then, make sure to arrange the parameters in such a way na ma-cancel yung ayaw mo, matitira yung gusto mo, which in this case is milligram per hour. Okay? Sige, next. How many hours would it take to achieve 75% of the target concentration? How many hours? So, this is a function of time. And 75% daw. Well, kung 75% yan, tingnan nyo, mangyayari. Let's say, nagsimula ako at 100%, and then after one half-life, naging 50%. Di ba? Tapos, nagbigay ulit ako ng drug. Let's say, nagbigay ako maintenance dose, naging 150%. Pero after another half-life, kilalahati ko yung 150, naging 75% na lang. Okay, so this is one half-life. Kasi ito yung maintenance dose ko. And then, another half-life, number 2. T1 half. Yan. So, to reach 75% of the target concentration, it took me 1 and 2 half-lives. 2 half-lives. Okay? So, kailangan ko i-calculate yung 2, how long it takes for me to get to 2 half-lives. Yan. Okay. So, let's recall. Ano ba yung formula ng half-life natin? Well, we know that half-life, okay, is dependent on the natural logarithm of 2, which we know, memorize na lang natin, is 0.7. Multiplied by the volume of distribution in the numerator, divided by clearance in the denominator. Okay? So, ang volume of distribution natin given is 2,000 ml times 0.7 divided by yung clearance natin which is 200 ml per hour. Yan. So, we plug it in straightforward. Cancel, 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 cancel. 20 over 2, that's 10 times 0.7, that is 7 hours. Yan, 7 hours. That's my half-life. Okay? So, as you can see, nung manipulate natin yung mga variables, na-cancel yung ml, kasi ayaw ko ng ml, tinira ko yung r. Ayan. So, I rearranged the variables in such a way na matitira yung r, maka-cancel yung ml. So, 7 hours ang nakalculate nating half-life. Okay. So, 7 hours. So, from 100%, magiging 50% yung drug. Pero, para maging 75% siya, I need 2 half-lives. So, multiply natin to by 2. That would be 14 hours to reach 75% of the target concentration. Okay? Sige. I hope that's clear. Next, drug Y has the following PK data. We have 50 milligram per ml CSS, target concentration, 10 liters or 10,000, 10,000 ml, volume of distribution, and we have clearance 500 ml per hour. With IV infusion, when? So time, huh? will CSS be achieved? So, time to steady state tayo. And anong sinabi ko sa inyo? There's only one parameter that will affect the time to steady state. What is it? That's half-life. Okay? And we calculate half-life, again, via zero point 0.7 times volume of distribution over clearance. Okay. So, pag nakalculate na natin yung half-life, tapos na ba tayo? Hindi pa. Once we calculate the half-life, we need to multiply that by the number of half-lives it takes to reach steady state concentration. And the number of half-lives it takes for us to reach steady state concentration is 4 to 5. Pero usually 4 ang ginagamit natin. Okay? So we calculate 4 half-lives. Okay? But first, syempre, calculate natin yung half-life. This is zero point 0.7 times volume of distribution 10,000 divided by clearance ko na 500. Okay? So cancel, 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 cancel. 100 divided by 5 is 20 times zero point 0.7. That is 14 hours. That's my half-life. And to reach steady state concentration, it will take me 4 half-life. So 14 hours times 4, that would be approximately 56 hours to reach steady state concentration. Okay? So constant yan ha. 4 ang gagamitin natin. Next. Drug C has the following PK data. We have clearance again, CSS again, and VD na naka-ML na sa wakas. What is the rate of administration to reach CSS? Rate of administration is nothing but dosing rate. Tama? So, dosing rate is rate in. We calculate for the rate out. Kasi steady state is rate in is equal to rate out. That would be clearance times CSS. This is very straightforward. So, this is just clearance ko 5 ml per hour times CSS ko which is 10 milligram per ml. Again, maka-cancel yung ml ko. Ang matitira sa akin is milligram per hour and that would be 50 milligrams per hour. So, that's how much I need to supply per hour to achieve steady state concentration. Okay? Next, okay, same thing. We have the rate of elimination. This is rate of elimination, hindi clearance, 10 milligram per hour. We have here the CSS of 25 milligram per ml, and we have VD is 20 liters or 20,000 ml. Ang tanong, what is the dose to reach target concentration with a single dose? What is the dose to reach target concentration with a single dose? Ano yun? We need to load initially ng mataas na dose para hindi natin hintayin yung 4 half-lives to reach steady state concentration. That's a loading dose. And we know that the formula of loading dose is dependent on the volume of distribution times the steady state concentration. Steady state concentration, loading dose, volume of distribution. Okay? So we have the volume of distribution that's 20,000 ml times the steady state concentration of 25 milligram per ml. Tingnan nyo, kahit hindi ko alam, let's say nakalimutan ko yung formula, tapos nakita ko, loading dose kailangan ko. So, milligrams ang kailangan ko. How can I rearrange the variables in such a way na maka-cancel yung ayaw ko, which in this case is ml. Lagay ko sa numerator yung volume of distribution kasi ml siya. Lagay ko sa kabila yung ml sa denominator kasi CSS is milligram per ml. So magka-cancel yan. Ano matitira sa akin? Yung gusto ko na loading dose na milligram. So that's 20,000 times 25. That's, ano yun? 500,000? Ang laki, no? 500,000 milligrams. That's my loading dose. So, lalagay ko na yung 500,000 milligram na yan para mabilis kong ma-achieve yung aking steady state instead of waiting for 4 half-lives. Okay? Next, we have drug X. We have with a steady state concentration of 100 achieved after 20 hours with continuous infusion at 4 milligram per hour. What is the plasma concentration at 15 hours from the start of infusion? This is the reason why sabi ko sa inyo, you need to be familiar with the abbreviations. Pwedeng CP, CSS, TC. Para hindi tayo malito, we need to be familiar with them. Okay. So 15 hours from the start of infusion. Okay. So how do we calculate the plasma concentration at 15 hours from the start of infusion? So probably since puro time yung pinag-uusapan natin dito, 20 hours, 15 hours, maybe we're going to make use of half-life again. Can we get the half-life based on this data? May CSS tayo 100, achieved na after 20 hours. We reach CSS. Kailan? Kailan natin may reach yung CSS? 4 half-lives. We reach CSS ng 4 na half-life. Diba? And sabi dyan, 20 hours daw yun. So, can we calculate the half-life now? Yes. 4 half-lives, ma-reach yung steady state, 20 hours daw it took to get there. So that means ang half-life ko would be 20 over 4, that would be 5 hours. Yan. So half-life ko 5 hours. Ang tinatanong sa akin is the plasma concentration at 15 hours. 15 hours is how many half-lives? 15 hours is 3 half-lives. Okay. So ano yung magiging concentration ko at 3 half-lives? Kaya tingnan natin. 100% ng drug. After 1 half-life, naging 50. Naglagay ako ng maintenance dose sa continuous infusion ko. Naging 150. Another half-life, naging 75. Another maintenance dose, 175. Another half-life, 87.5. So tama ba? Nakatatlong half-life na tayo. This is one half-life. This is the second half-life. And this is the third half-life. So 1, 2, and 3. So 3 half-lives. 3 times 5 hours na half-life, that's 15 hours, which is yung tinatanong sa atin right now. And ilang percent ng drug ang natira sa akin after 3 half-lives or 15 hours? 87.5. Yan. 87.5%. Which means, after 15 hours, which is 3 half-lives, I have 87.5 milligrams per ml. That is my concentration ng plasma after 15 hours. Okay? Sige. Next. Drug Y has a clearance of 3 liters per hour. You are to give it by IV to reach a target concentration of 20 milligram per liter. Calculate for the dosing rate. Okay, so that, okay, wait a minute. I think we have here dosing rate. This is the same as yung mga nasolve na natin ata, I think, before. Kasi may dosing rate tayo, which is the rate in, and we're going to calculate and we equate that to the rate out, which is just the clearance times steady state concentration. Target concentration. So, ang clearance natin, same naman units, di ba? That's 3 liters per hour. Price naman liters times 20 milligram per liter. And ayun, naka-cancel ulit yung liter natin, which is yung ayaw natin. Ang natira is ating milligram per hour. 3 times 20, that's 60 milligram per hour. So, quite similar dun sa previous problem. Okay? Next. You're giving drug Z at 25 milligram per hour by continuous IV to reach a target concentration of 10 milligram per liter. Compute for the drug's clearance. Oh, so clearance na ang hinihingi sa atin. So, lilagay naman natin lahat ng given natin. We have the dosing rate. Okay, we have the dosing rate. That's 25 milligrams per hour. And then we have target concentration or CSS at 10 milligram per liter. Ang pinapahanap sa atin is the clearance, CL. Oh, again, this is quite similar sa ating previous problem. Very important talaga tong formula na to. So, dapat very high yield to. Dapat hindi natin makalimutan to. DR, rate in, is equal to the rate out, CL times CSS. Ayan, DR is equal to CL times CSS. DR natin is 25. Clearance ko yung hinahanap times CSS ko is 10. So, isolate natin si clearance. Clearance is 25 over 10. That's 25 over 10 is 2.5. And ang unit ng clearance natin is liters per hour. Yan. So, that's my clearance. Tama ba? Liter per hour, volume per hour, ang clearance na unit? Yes. So, ang clearance ko is 2.5 liters per hour. So, very high yield pala tong formula na to. The dosing rate is equal to clearance times steady state concentration. Next, you are studying a drug with a volume of distribution of 50 liters. If its clearance is 5 liters per hour, what is the dosing frequency to maintain therapeutic levels, aka, ano yung half-life? Yan tinatanong dito. The dosing frequency to maintain therapeutic levels is, syempre, bibigyan mo siya ng dose every half-life to maintain steady-state concentration, to maintain therapeutic levels. So, basically, ang dosing frequency natin is just frequency, di ba? So, basically, kakompute natin yung every how many hours natin ibibigay yung drug, okay, para mag-maintain yung steady-state concentration. And we usually give that, i-align natin siya sa ating half-life. Okay? Pag bumaba na ulit, so, di ba, nag-dose tayo, nag-half-life, nag-dose tayo, half-life, dose tayo, half-life, steady-state concentration. Okay? So, tuwing half-life tayo magbibigay. So, this would just be, ang formula ng half-life is, that's just zero point 0.7 times our volume of distribution over the clearance. That will just be 0.7 times volume of distribution of 50 liters over clearance ko, which is 5 liters per hour. So, this is just cancel 10. This will just be 7 hours. Tama? 50 over 5, 10 times 0.7, that's 7 hours. And ang half-life ko is 7 hours, which means I should give my drug every 7 hours. Okay? So every 7 hours ang aking dosing frequency. Okay. So now, we're going to analyze QCVR questions and we're going to use yung sinabi ko sa inyo na pag nasa numerator, directly proportional, A. Pag nasa denominator, inversely proportional, or B sa ating variation relationship. So, very important talaga ang ating mga formulas kasi not only are we going to use them for calculations, they're also going to be very useful sa ating variation relationships. QC muna tayo pala. So, we have maintenance dose, clearance VD. Ano ang formula ng maintenance dose? That's clearance times CSS times time interval over by availability. Nothing in the formula of maintenance dose tells us about the volume of distribution. Kasi gusto mo lang, ang main parameter for my maintenance dose is actually clearance here. Kasi, maintenance dose mo, rate in, that should equal the rate out, which is yung clearance mo dito. Okay? Walang kinalaman si volume of distribution doon. Okay? So, this is A. Next, drug binding. Is it a determinant of distribution or determinant of absorption? Drug binding, especially to albumin, the plasma, is a determinant of distribution. Hindi mo madidistribute to the target organ yung drug mo kapag highly bound siya sa aking plasma. Okay, especially to albumin. So this is a determinant of distribution. First pass effect. So sino daw sa kanila yung possible dumaan muna ng liver para ma-extract ng liver, kukonting by availability. Answer here is letter A, rectal. Pag inferior rectal or yung palabas na ng rectum, that will indeed bypass the first pass effect. Pero pag nilagay mo siya above pa nung rectum, if you recall, the superior or rectal vein will drain sa ating portal circulation as well. So that will have a first pass effect. Yung transvaginal, the vagina is highly vascularized. So pag nilagay mo dyan yung drug, it can easily diffuse and diretso na siya sa vascular tissues, diretso na siya sa systemic circulation. Hindi na siya dadaan ng aking portal circulation. Kasi ano lang naman yung dumadaan ng portal circulation? Di ba yung aking splanchnic circulation, which is basically GI tract. Okay? So it's the same thing with yung ating transdermal. Okay, the dermis is also, especially the hypodermis, is also highly vascularized. So, hindi na siya dadaan ng liver. Diretso na siya sa systemic circulation. Okay? Ito pala, area under the curve. So, higher bioavailability. So, sino ang may, di ba, area under the curve is bioavailability. Sino ang mas available? Siyempre, transdermal, diretso siyang systemic circulation. Ang topical, hindi yan masyadong makakadaan ng aking systemic circulation kasi ang goal mo sa topical is to apply it in the epidermis sa superficial layers ng skin kasi doon naman yung target niya. Kung meron kang acne, topical cream, doon lang naman ang goal mo, hindi naman to distribute it to the other parts of the body. So it will have low bioavailability, so mababa siya. So ang QC natin here, ang greater is the transdermal kasi transdermal is for systemic. Okay, so greater bioavailability. Now, we proceed to the more important type of question for pharmacokinetics, which is variation relationship. So we have drug binding to albumin and volume of distribution. As I said, the more the drug is bound to the plasma protein, the less it will be able to be distributed to the target organ. So this is B. Okay? Next, hepatic extraction. So ilan yung tinanggal ng liver dun sa drug natin and the drug in systemic circulation. So very understandable naman. The more drug na in-extract ng liver, the less drug will be in the systemic circulation. Next, lipophilicity of the drug. So, more hydrophobic siya. So, it will pass through the phospholipid bilayer of the cell membrane. It will be distributed. It will go from the vascular tissue to the peripheral tissues. Okay? From the blood to the peripheral tissues. Kasi, fat-soluble siya, lipophilic siya, makaka-diffuse siya, it will be able to distribute to the peripheral space. So, this is A. We have intestinal transit time. So, gaano katagal yung drug na dumadaan sa intestine and drug absorption. Siyempre, the greater time na dumadaan siya sa intestine, the more time for it to be absorbed, the more the drug will be absorbed. So, this is A. Okay? Ito na, yung sinasabi ko, why our formulas are incredibly important as well. Sabi ko sa inyo, paulit-ulit, numerator, usually directly proportional, denominator, inversely proportional. Number 1, we have here VD and T1 half-life. So volume of distribution and half-life. What's the relationship? Anong formula? Half-life is equal to 0.7 times the numerator, volume of distribution, divided by clearance sa denominator. Numerator, anong relationship? Direct. This is A. Q. Okay? Next, half-life and time to, sorry, half-life and concentration ng steady state. Steady state concentration, ha? Hindi time to steady state. Concentration mismo. Okay? Sabi ko sa inyo na ang time to steady state, ang nakaka-apekto nun is the half-life. Pero yung concentration at steady state, ang nakaka-apekto nun is yung dose. Walang kinalaman ang half-life sa concentration. Okay? So this is actually C. Okay? Very important yan, ha? Time to steady state, ang nakaka-apekto doon, half-life. 4 to 5 half-lives, that's the time it will take me to reach the steady state. Pero yung concentration mismo, yung dose mismo ng milligrams na pinasok ko, yun ang makaka-apekto ng steady state concentration. But this one, the time and the concentration, walang kinalaman. C. Okay? Next, AUC under area under the curve and by availability. Okay, syempre, greater area under the curve, more ang nakarating sa systemic circulation, meaning it's more available. It's more bioavailable. VD and LD, what's the formula? Loading dose is equal to the product of volume of distribution and steady state concentration. Numerator, over 1 yan. So, numerator, directly proportional. This is A. Okay? Kung ayaw naman gamitin yung formula, anong intuition natin here? The more na volume ang gusto mong distributan ng drug, edi syempre, more dose ang kailangan mo i-load. Okay? So that's what it means. Next, bioavailability and maintenance dose. Okay, anong formula ng maintenance dose? If you recall, MD is equal to CL times CSS, which is the dosing rate, times the time interval, every how many hours bang mabigay? Every how many hours ba ibibigay yung maintenance dose? Every 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, etc. Over the bioavailability. Diba? Denominator, inversely proportional. This is letter B. Intuition. The greater the bioavailability, the less the maintenance dose. Mas konting dose kailangan mo ibigay kung mas available na siya. Diba? So, since kung konti lang in-extract ng liver, mas bioavailable siya, edi konti lang din yung kailangan mong i-supply na maintenance dose. In comparison, kung mababa yung bioavailability, maraming in-extract si liver, konti lang yung nakarating sa systemic circulation, doon mo dapat taasan yung maintenance dose mo to reach the target concentration. Kung hindi mo tataasan yung maintenance dose mo, tas given na mababa yung bioavailability, baka hindi ka mag-reach na steady state concentration. Okay? Kasi mababa yung bioavailability mo. Okay? So you need to give a large maintenance dose in that case kung mababa yung bioavailability. Next, ayan, isa pa. Steady state concentration again. Time to steady state again. Concentration and time, walang kinalaman. C. And lastly, for this session, rate of elimination and clearance. Okay? Ano ang formula ng clearance natin? Clearance, okay, is equal to the rate of elimination over the plasma concentration. Numerator, directly proportional, A. Now, intuitively, rate of elimination, mas malaki amount of drug yung tinanggal mo, mas malaki yung clearance mo, which means you clear more of the blood of the drug. Okay? Sige. So that's letter A. That's directly proportional. And that ends our short uh, review session on pharmacokinetics. We've covered the concept and then we translated that into concrete calculations. And then we apply the formulas to ating variation relationship questions. Now, we should also be prepared for enumeration, essay type questions, true or false questions kasi depende yan sa department ko anong gusto nila. But I hope this session was able to clear up some concepts and ang proper approach. You had the proper approach sa ating mga calculation problems. Pag sa numerator, directly proportional, denominator, inversely proportional. How to use the units. Pag nakalimutan mo yung formula, manipulating the units para ma-cancel mo yung ayaw mo, ang matitira yung gusto mo, kung ano yung tinatanong ng question. Kung milligram kung gusto ng question, pag multiplyin mo yung mga units mo, kailangan ma-cancel yung ayaw mo. Let's say ml, ang matitira lang dapat doon mg. Okay? So, I think that's it. So, thank you very much and good luck sa atin. Bye-bye. Pagpalain.